Okay. So third part. Third part with the movie that you recommended me, which is called Mahanagar. So first of all, I wanted to say I just realized today that Mahanagar means Mahanagar.
Like that.
And I my comprehension, and I read it in German, which is, and it was written die Großstadt, and I was like, huh? Like, I don't think this is my comprehension. My comprehension up till now, and I also explained to my mom that it was like this. It was a Mahana Gar,
That's
because it's perfectly matched theme, because they're hand to mouth family, and there's the
Mahanagar,
yeah,
monthly house.
yeah, someone who is working for monthly, household kharche ke liye. And I was like, so mahina is month in Urdu, and so mahana is like something that is monthly, and gar is coming from karigar, someone who does that. So mahana gar, someone who makes the month, someone who brings, and maybe there is a pun, maybe there isn't. And so I was shocked when I say, okay, it is Mahanagar. And
What does that mean in German?
die Großstadt, the big city.
Yeah, that's exactly Satyajit Ray's own title for it.
Yeah.
Mahanagar, the big city.
Yeah. Maha means big, bigger.
Right.
Just to say, we also have Mahadevi. I don't know. Like Maha is something that is bigger than the other.
Mahadev.
Yeah. And Nagar means basti, or a town. And then Mahanagar, something a bigger town. So I understand. When I looked at it differently, I understood that, okay, this could be split this way. But for me, I have always been like, for a week, or I have been watching this movie in pieces for a month, and I think I was always reading it, and it entered in my mind, Mahana Gar, someone who is making the monthly salary. So yeah, it can happen.
I love how you took your own meaning out of it.
Yeah, but it makes sense. But maybe I was thinking in Urdu, and it is in Bengali. I don't know.
Or, yes.
Happens. Happens. I saw, I saw the big city somewhere, and I was like,
Happens.
maybe they named it differently in English. Uh, they didn't get it. They always do that with, indigenous movies. Uh, and when I saw it again and again, maybe this time I realized, okay, I think I. So I wanted to share something about Satyajit Ray. You recommended me a film from Satyajit Ray. I think Mahanagar is not your favorite film, but I think it is important to talk about him. I love his personality. I think I spent a month watching the movie. I was watching it into pieces and everything. But I think I watched the documentary on Satyajit Ray 3 times in a day. Thrice in a day.
Which documentary?
It was, so I think, yeah, I put here. It is called How Satyajit Ray Directs a Film. The Director's Chairs.
Oh,
I think the channel is, I don't remember.
Studio Binder, I think.
Yeah, Movie Binder. And it is amazing. I think they depict it really nice. I also saw the other one for the Hidden Figures. I think it was DP30, Hidden Figures Ted Murphy. And then but Satyajit Ray, I think I saw this thrice. I think every moment of it is condensed, but every moment of it is, he's saying something amazing. And what is really nice about it is like, most of the time it is a compilation of him talking. And he's describing where his influences are and what he has taken from them. He's saying that they were well written, well directed, well shot, and well acted movies. And where he's taking light inspiration, how he has done his movies, which camera he used, what type of actors he used. And he's saying that he basically crafted everything. And that is amazing because he says, I knew I could picture what I wanted. And then from that idea, it is real authenticity. He doesn't go by a book. He says, okay, I want this, and how I'm gonna shoot this. And he's finding a way to do that. He works with, I think he's shooting in Calcutta, and because it's his native city, he knows the light, he knows the environment, but also he just doesn't give up. He says, okay, I will go and take the camera. I will shoot in the rain. I will shoot before sunset. I will shoot after sunset. Before sunrise, I will go after sunset. I will go in cloudy weather. I will figure out how I'm gonna shoot it. I will figure out how I'm gonna shoot in Calcutta streets because I want to render the authenticity of this, the soul of the city. I want to represent it, and doesn't matter how many people are gonna watch. And he is saying that he had a lot of adversity doing his films, and it's not one of like he has a strong body of work compared to Ted Murphy. I think he has like a strong legacy. He has left. I really love this thing about him. And I think he's also talking, I think in this interview, he's mentioning someone, he's saying that about bouncing light. And he's saying that someone, Sven
Yes,
Nykvist, wrote an article and said that
invented it.
yeah, in the movie Through a Glass Darkly, they invented bouncing light. And Satyajit has been already using it in the courtyards of his movies. And I just relate to it in the sense like there are so many things that have been achieved in Asia or in other parts of continent. And when we read mostly cinema or art or maths, geography,
Mm,
it is
yeah.
very West. If it's in Europe, it will be very Europe centrical. If it's in America, it will
Mm,
be very America centered. They will give you their names. They will say, okay, this is the first person who did it, but they will omit the part in America or in Europe. That person becomes the reference for the whole world because of an but this is not the first time this is not the only occurrence of it. So he's very well aware of this, and he's reading their literature and still doing his own way, and he uses a word which is called indigenous. He doesn't say Indian or like Eastern. He doesn't divide it like that. He says authentic almost. Whatever our culture is. Indigenous is I think we have gone from, Indian, we have changed to South Asian, and then we have come to indigenous term. And him using that term at that time, it resonates with the Hamim of now. I really liked him. And I think I also saw, I think it was last year or last year or in the beginning of this year, there was a film called The Glass Worker. It is an animation movie.
Yes, yes.
Produced by someone in Karachi. He took like 10 years to do it, and he did everything, and he's doing storyboarding, and he also knows a lot about design and graphics and music and everything. He knows I think he put his hands in everything. And so did Satyajit Ray. He's storyboarding, he's illustrating, he has architect
Music.
notions. Yeah, he's doing music because he wants the perfect thing and he doesn't want to offend the musicians. So there is respect and there's authenticity. I loved it. This person is very, very rich in his art form. And uh, I was thinking that how bold of him. Maybe he is privileged. I don't know his personal background. He was privileged to have this much of confidence and this level of studies at his time, that he walked up to a French man and say, "Oh, I am a student of cinema, and could I sit with you?" He should have had some kind of art and cinema luggage, knowledge, to sit with this man and say and discuss about things, and to have this opportunity. I also think that, when you are bound to do something, like I think he had this thing to do with cinema. Some people are very attracted to writing and everything. I think they meet the right people. So there's also a way, an attraction, universal maybe laws that made this meeting happen. They were connected anyway, but his confidence at that time to go and see, I think, Jean Renoir, the French director who went there to Calcutta for one of his movies, The River, and
Yeah.
he stayed near where his university was, or his campus was, and he just walked up to his hotel and talked to him. And he is doing advertising campaign for his film. He is doing credits. He is doing illustrations.
He's a Renaissance man. He does everything.
But the thing is, sometimes you also meet people who have a lot of talent, but they are incapable of focusing, and they are saying, "Oh, this is so overwhelming. I want to do everything," and they cannot achieve it. And the fact that
That's
he has
me.
achieved it,
That's
like,
me, by the way.
you are also like this. I think we should start from delegating, and then in order to start, and then maybe do everything. He is able to do everything, and this is amazing. So this
It's
is,
really amazing.
yeah.
He's so charismatic. He's so charming. His speech is so clear, and he knows what how to speak. He knows the words, what words will convey my what I mean, what I want to say. His interviews are so uh, meaningful, but also very relaxing because he has such a great voice. Also, I think such a graceful character,
Mm.
and it shows in his movies because he is ambitious also. His first movie, he was introduced to world cinema because of his debut film, because of his first movie. He's known throughout the world because of his first movie. Can you imagine that? Doing one movie and becoming world famous.
Wow.
It's amazing. His first movie was Pata Panchali,
Yeah.
and he made three movies. There's a trilogy. It's called Apu trilogy,
Yeah.
and it's famous throughout the world. And Satyajit Ray is famous because of this trilogy. And I think the music of this movie was done by Ravi Shankar, who was a legend of that time of classical music, Indian classical music. And you can feel the villageness, the feeling of the laid back feeling, the relaxing uh, rural life. And there's also tragedy. And Ravi Shankar portrays it so very well. And Satyajit Ray was the decision of choosing Ravi Shankar for this movie was amazing. After a couple of films, I think maybe this was also in the interview. He says that after a couple of films, I thought that the people I'm choosing for my music are not are not habitual of film score. They're musicians. They're maestros. They have a habit of making music for orchestra, for concerts. They haven't done film score, which is a separate thing altogether, which is its own thing in itself. Film score is done in the context of the visuals. Yes. It's not done without in a void. So he says that after a while, I thought that instead of using people, non-film score people, I think he said that he used to tell them that you can just play. You just play the music, whatever, however you want to play it, like a concert, like an orchestra, and I will cut off. I will pieces of the music I want, and that's what he did. There was no film score. He edited the score out of the film, and he made the score. After a couple of movies, I think he couldn't bear the difficulty of score it thing, and yes, and he just started making music himself. It's so amazing. Yeah. His music from this movie, his music from Charulata, his music from Nayak. He has such a broad body of work, such diverse films. Yeah. He has done films in rural life. He's done films working class, middle class. He's done films on celebrities. He's done films on dogmatic religion, the dogmatism of religion. He's done films on everything. He's done casual films like uh, Days and Nights in the Forest, which is a predecessor of films like Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara and Dil Chahta Hai. Just three friends going out and having picnics. You were mentioning and so amazing. Yeah. That's such a director, such a person. Yeah, go on. Sorry, go ahead. No, I wasn't saying. Okay. Go on. You mentioned the Apu trilogy, and I think you once you start seeing Satyajit Ray's one film, you will eventually see a lot of his work because I think it invites you. One of his work it will lead eventually to other. And I had a similar experience with Marcel Pagnol. It is a French. He's a writer. I knew him as a writer because my high school name was Marcel Pagnol. So I just out of curiosity, oh, I watched one of his films. I think I stumbled upon one of his films on TV, and then I watched it on YouTube, and it also has one of the trilogies. So it's like on three names: Marius, Fanny, César. So three typical South French names, and they have like typical provincial drama in it, and their accents and the environment very very typical and very different from all other movies that you have seen. So you have to watch them, and I think we can see Apu's trilogy, and we can see Magus Funny Cesar, and they are also black and white. I thought like I think these were my first films in black and white, and I had never thought before that I would watch black and white movies, but they are so interesting. And for Mahanagar, I think I was not even questioning that it wouldn't be interesting because it doesn't have color because of those movies. Because I think the standard of these movies is higher than maybe colored movies. So, and then when you will start seeing Marcel Pagnol films, you will find so many more. And you will watch the entire body in the end because it is so interesting. So, Satyajit Ray, maybe. What kind of films does he make? Does he make Sorry? Drama films? The what kind of films? It is village stories. For example, there is a story which is called La Femme de Boulanger, the wife of the bakery, of the baker. And it is the story of in the village, their presence, and the wife is so beautiful, and everyone comes and talk to her. And this is the main theme. And then the loyalty and everything. So it would be just that, the main theme, and then there's so much going on. Fanny, Marius Cesar, they are like same family, and
There's focus on one person, maybe someone who's going for work, some secret of family, a marriage that has to happen, and then in three sequences there are the entire story builds up. And he has Marcel Pagnon also has I think two films that he has done for his parents. One is called Le Château de ma mère, the castle of my mom, and for the other one is for his father, Le fusil de mon père, something like that. My father's it's not pistol, it's the gun that you use for shikar to hunt, something like that. But I don't remember the
Yes,
exact title for the father, but beautiful tribute to what they were um, in in that countryside society, the love, the environment. I think I became more South French when I saw these movies because they impress you. They just take you in. They welcome you in their environment. So it was. I hope you will see them as
I
well.
really love exploring regional movies, specific films from specific areas, specific languages, specific cultures. So, for example, there's a Hungarian director by the name of Belatar. So, his films have a very peculiar, very strange technique. He shoots these films with shots, 20 minutes, and people are just dancing and dancing and drinking and dancing, and there's nothing else. And then 20 minutes, a person is walking and walking till he reaches his destination and the shot is over. So, one of his films is Satan Tango.
Mm-hmm.
It's about 8 hours long,
Okay.
single film.
Mm-hmm.
It's 8 hours long because the story is not that long. It's just because of the long shots, 20-minute long shots. It's really interesting watch. It's tiring, but when you uh, finish it, you find yourself appreciating the uniqueness of the approach. So I was also tired. I watched it in, I think, three settings, four settings, I think 4 days, 5 days. But it was so captivating and it was such a unique way to approach films. So I love exploring world cinema. I love exploring regional South Indian cinema, Malayalam, Kannada, Telugu, Tamil, uh, Bengali, Assamese, Marathi. I love them.
Have
And
you seen
I think
Drive My Car?
I haven't seen that one, but I've read the short story by what was his name, the writer,
Of
Kafka by the Shore. Who's the writer?
I don't know. Just saw the movie. Let me see. Sorry. Drive My Car.
The writer, Haruki Murakami.
Is it from him?
Yeah, it's from him. Drive My Car is based on his short story.
Okay.
I haven't watched the film. I think it won the Oscar or something. But I have read the short story long ago, so I don't remember much of it. But I think I want to revisit the short story and watch the film. How was it? How was the film?
So as you're
We're at this point we're just ignoring Mahanagar. But okay, go on.
no, let's start Mahanagar after that. I think I just wanted to mention Drive My Car with your Hungarian director because I think in Drive My Car the time is real. As you're saying, he's working and working, and the time notion is the same as your time. And this was my first time, I think, being confronted to that movie. I think it's still very long as well. Mm. And I was frustrated. I was like, just finish the car. Show me, curate for me the moments that are important. I don't need to sit with you in the car. And I think, and after that as well, I think I just discussed with one of my other colleagues, and he had also watched it, and he said that was the interesting part of it because you can't skip, and it is so long that it leaves an impression on you when we are maybe the invitation is just to slow down and And it is very beautiful as well. I think the countryside where he's driving the car. So just I wanted to do the parallel. Maybe you will also like drive my car, which I didn't in the first place. So let's talk about Mahanagar, and I will just mention the story. The story is about a house wife, a homemaker, as we say, Arati, and she is it's set in 1950s, but the film came out in 63, I think, in Calcutta. And so Arati is living with her husband Subrata, and they have a child, Pinto. Not very old, I think 3 or 4 or 5, maybe something like that, like a small kid. And so they have now their in-laws have come over because I don't know, for whatever problem, in economy problem certainly. And they have come over with, so the father, the mother, and the sister-in-law have come over. And so the finances are short, and so they don't have, like, I think Arati, who has the money in hand, she says we only have money for 3 days. And the father-in-law wants glasses because he somehow broke his glasses, and he's pestering his son to get him new glasses, but they don't have money. And Subrata is depressed, so Arati, out of love, says, okay, I will help you. I will also work. So I don't understand Bengali, but there are some words I think similar to Urdu. Um, so I understood chakri as nokri. So she says, I would, yeah, we say chakar, but chakri for them is nokri. Um, she said she's gonna find, and they do find together. At that time, they are very solid together. They find a job. She goes in secret to the interview. He prepares her for the interview. He gives enough confidence to say, "Oh, you can do it," and everything. I think when the film starts with the focus on the guys, on Subrata in a train as the breadwinner. This is why in my mind it was Mahanagar. And then they both become breadwinners. She does extremely well at the company. She is selling a knitting machine, which is called Auto Knit, and she does extremely well. And she is doing. She's moving with her constraint. She knows that her not satisfied, so she tries to bring her tobacco to chewing tobacco. She tries to bribe her child. She really loves when you really see her in willing to go to work, but also wanting to remain with with her Pinto. And you really don't know. You really think she would stay. Like sometimes you don't know she will go or she will stay. She is that confused. In those two roles that she has taken on. And the sister in law is studying, so they have a lot of expenses. And at work, she has a team. I think they are a team of 5 hired together. Most of them are Bengali women, but one of them is Anglo Indian woman. So she only speaks in English, and Arati is only speaking in Bengali, and they just do understand thoda thoda each other a little bit. And then amazingly, Arati is doing very well, and the boss, Mr. Mukherjee, well, is willing to wants her to be the representative, trust her with more responsibility and everything. And the husband at home is becoming more and more jealous of her success, even though he is the one who pushed her to. He is not the one who pushed her to work, but he encouraged her to work. But now he's seeing that she is doing well and she's becoming independent. And then one day he found a lipstick in her bag, and he surprised her uh, in the how do you say, in a cafe with a customer, and she's wearing glasses. So he's noticing she is always positive. She's saying, oh, I have this, I brought you this. She's moving nicely with her character, and he doesn't like this. So even though he was okay, that his father is not okay with his wife working, but his with his heart it is very difficult. If we see, there's a scene where he's sitting just thinking, and his face is so projected on a way, on a curtain, and it is dark form, like so many things going on, what he's thinking and what is projected. He's very confused with his feeling. He cannot really appreciate the Arati's success. And on top of it, he loses his job. He pushes Arati to resign, and the very day she goes to resign, he loses his job because he was working in a startup bank, and the bank got collapsed. And he calls her. He said, "Oh,
That phone call.
yeah, don't resign."
I love that phone call.
Yeah, and I think people are happy for this phone call because he became detestable by his act to push her to resign without any valid reason, just the ego. And then God just putting him in that position, that he has to rely on her. And how clever and wise of Arati to negotiate, and in that very moment, a raise. Very intelligently she asked for a raise because Mr. Mukherjee gives her a new role, and she says, "Oh, I cannot do this if I don't have a raise." And she knows that she does a good job and everything. She gets the raise, and then she continues on, like Mr. Mukherjee is dropping her, and the husband still in confusion. Now he doesn't even have a job, like um and one day he drops by at the office of Arati. I don't know why he came in the first place to the office. And surprisingly, the guy, Mr. Mukherjee, the boss of Arati, also offers him a job. So he came for something else, and now he's getting a job, so he will not say anything. He stops. And on that very day, Mr. Mukherjee, who is very encouraging and I think a refreshing figure for this Bengali woman because he's participating in their emancipation, he discriminates the Anglo-Indian girl and fires her. And Arati gets really mad at it.
Stands up.
Yeah, and
Stands up
she
for her.
stands up for her, and she says, "Okay." She knows that she is the sole breadwinner of her house, and she could have just said nothing, and but she stands up even in that circumstance. It is so special. And she talks,
Solidarity.
right, and she says you should say sorry. And he says no, and she resigns. And then she goes in the street, and she finds Subrata, who is coming for the job connection. And she's so afraid at in that moment. She becomes the typical Arati, the housewife, and she says, "What is gonna misunderstand me? Don't misunderstand me. You don't misunderstand me." But there's nothing to misunderstand from my point of view in 2025. So you got fired. Okay, that doesn't impact on your private life. And she's also thinking that her friend Edith will not be able to get married now because she is fired. And she linked everything as as you got harassed or something, then you will not be able to get married. This shows the special person thinking of Arati as Like she's evolving, but she has not, all parts of her has not evolved yet. This was very beautiful, I think, vulnerable sides of her, soft side, not soft, but vulnerable and indigenous sides of her that came were pictured beautifully. I think I was just describing that she resigns from her job and they both meet outside the office, and she tells him about it. He physically goes further away, turns his back, and then comes back to her, and then they both she realizes something. Realizes something that in Calcutta, there's just not one job. This is a big city, and there will be so many jobs, and she has a lot of opportunities. So there might be two jobs for each one of them, and it is very hopeful. And then they both of them they leave together. I didn't understand well the ending, and I think I failed to see the bonding between these two because I was too much focused on his negativeness, Subrata's negativeness. I think she was normal in her relationship, but in their relationship, but he was every time he would find something. But while reading commentary and seeing how other people also analyzed it, them living together is a good sign, is a positive note because him going and coming back is him fighting his internal emotions and ego, and coming back is him realizing that they are a team. So for me, the at first my image of Subrata was not so optimistic, so nice, but I think people reviews mellowed his his uh character for me. Why did you recommend me this movie?
Because it's by Satyajit Ray. That's why. Because it's so ahead of its time. This movie, because it's set in the 1950s and it was made in the 1960s. And the 1960s was a time when Bollywood was churning out masala films and action films and so many action films and romance and love stories and nonsensical musical numbers. And this is a time when Satyajit Ray produced so many realistic, meaningful, artistic films that this is the reason he is part of the movement known as parallel cinema.
Because he was not in
So
the world.
we have on the one side Bollywood. He was not part of the mainstream Indian cinema. He was part of something else entirely that ran parallel to the Bollywood because it happened. It existed along with Bollywood, but it had a completely different approach to cinema.
Yeah.
Ray was influenced by. He says in his interview, he is the product of East and West.
Yes.
He is the product of home and the world. He is the product of India, but he's also the product of the West. Italian films, American films, especially French films.
Yeah.
So I think this is why his films are so mature and his films are so well crafted because he has learned from world masters.
Exactly.
And so this is why we watch world cinema. We do not necessarily bring along the content, we bring along the techniques. We incorporate the ways of telling the story. This is why I am studying the English literature. I remember Faria asked me why did you choose English literature? Why not Baluchi literature? And I don't know what I said at the time, but what I meant was that world literature introduces you to so many different perspectives, so many different ways to tell stories. And we cannot refute the fact that world cinema, world literature is too much, especially Western in South Asia. Whatever cinema that is evolving, that is going upward here, is influenced by Western cinema, is influenced by European cinema, German cinema, French cinema, Italian cinema, etc.
I think you would say you could
etc.
have taken any.
I really love this movie. Yes, go on.
I just stopped in because your voice stopped, so you can continue your purpose. I will say afterwards.
So I like this film. I love this film um, because it showed the discrimination of women, the sexism, the
Patriarchy.
ego, the hierarchy in Asian families, in South Asian families, in families in the subcontinent, middle class families, where the breadwinner is the man, the patriarch of the family. So, if you remember that at the beginning of the film, there's a dialogue by uh, Subhatra. He says, "Why are you ignoring the breadwinner of the family?
You say again?
How lovely." He says that in the first scene, I think, of the movie. And it comes back, and by the end of the movie, at the beginning, he is the sole earner of the family, and so has that self-respect and self-confidence, and he feels like an authoritative figure. But throughout the movie, his ego is receives some very hard blows because of the wife's, because of Arati's employment, and because of how her character develops, because of how she breaks the shackles of convention, breaks the shackles of how a woman has to be, how one woman must behave, what fashion sense a woman should have, a homemaker. So I think this movie was very effective in telling us what happens when a man isn't the sole earner of the family anymore. At a time when it was very controversial or very unheard of to it was just starting, I think. Women employment was just starting, and I think it was becoming more and more a need for the financial stability of a country that both genders work, all people work irrespective of gender. So I think this movie also reflects that need of the country to recruit all genders, both genders, all people, in order to have a healthy financial, stable state. I think, and I love the music of this film. I love the performances, both of them, the guy and the woman. Especially, I think both of them had such great scenes, so many powerful performances. The jealousy of the husband, the coming to power of the wife, and I'm surprised at how both the actor and the character, straddle between two different dimensions. On the one side, she's a homemaker, she's a wife, she's a mother, she's a daughter-in-law. And on the other, she is a free woman. She is a worker. So it's very difficult, and it's very difficult for an actor to do that, and it's very difficult for the character to do that. And she does it. Both the character and the actor both do it very efficiently. The lipstick scene, the money scene, the mirror scene, I think is one of the most visually stunning scenes in the movie. When she receives her first paycheck, and she's standing in front of the mirror, and she smells the money, the notes, and the Anglo-Indian girl comes in and offers her the lipstick, and she says, "What should I do with it? इसका मेरे से क्या लेना देना?" So it's very. This scene was a defining moment, I think, in Arati's life, because after this scene, she started going on the trajectory from a homemaker to a free woman, makes her own choices. And Satyajit Ray, I think this is an adaptation too. So I don't want to give all the credit to Satyajit Ray for the writing, because this right a person I'm surprised by male writers who can get into the mind of a female character. Isn't it very surprising how they do it?
Maybe
So
because they
I
have
think
like
that's another.
overthought, and maybe in their version, like Mr. Nobody, they were a woman.
Maybe it's not so accurate. Maybe it's because I'm a man, because that's why I think maybe it's accurate. I don't know, but I think many women would argue, or women would agree, that this is such a great depiction of the lives of women in that era. What do you think about the contrast of the Anglo-Indian woman and Arati?
Mm. I think it was my first time maybe seeing an Anglo Indian woman being discriminated because in the North Indian cinema, I think there are actresses, not Anglo Indian or Anglo, maybe French Indian women who are performing well, and maybe because they are fair, they would get the advantage. I think like all the Bengali women sent Edith to negotiate the commission. So it meant that they in their position, in their stereotypes, in their mental space, imagination, it was more powerful and more well spoken to be able to talk or to negotiate with Mr. Mukherjee. But then how Mr. Mukherjee, I think he is kind of an exception because we could have had the exact opposite and we would also have understood it that he gives her the leadership position. Mr. Mukherjee is portrayed as being more nationalist, to not prefer, Anglo Indian girl, but he could have he could also have been a little bit different and say, oh, I have hired Bengali woman, but Bengali women, they come from housewife background, they don't know much, they don't, there are enough arguments he could have said. An Anglo Indian woman would have been the best friend ever, and he would have offered her a position. I think it is very specific to this film, but the politics behind it, I think I don't know much from that era. So I don't know, but we can clearly say that it is an engaged film where maybe it is not common in India to have working women. In France, I think, in France and generally in Europe, Second World War led to women working in ammunition factories and or weapon factories, and because there were not a lot of men, most of them were on warfare or died. So women had to go and work. And then when they worked for weapons, they didn't come back because they had the salary and everything. So they like they didn't go back. They just kept continuing from wherever they were, and then union councils came, and everything just progressed. I also feel like this. I didn't see that he portrayed really well the femininity of Arati. I think it's normal. Nothing extraordinary struck me, or where I said, "Oh, he understand well the psychology of a woman." Maybe I need to see it a second time or third time to see that. What I really like is that he describes the role as he understands the roles. He is describing how she connection between them, for example, how she is as a housewife and she moves with her constraints. Like she is bringing toys, she's bringing gifts for each member, and she's evolving with her constraint. And then she is also getting confident when she says, "You know what? Can I? If you want a good news, ask for a raise." And then the husband says, "The husband is a zero and the wife is a hero, or the wife is a hero, and the husband is a hero because he cannot withstand the success of her wife." She's very well spoken. She's very polite, even when she get this power. Maybe in that description, in that capturing of her, we can say he's very specific about her. And maybe it's related to femininity, but for me, it was the character, how it was built, and how she does. We can also see the dichotomy in, I think, her behavior in at house, and even clothes at house, and outside. The lipstick scene is very powerful. This is where at this scene I thought, oh man, with the color, I would have seen her bright. And how would have the real scene look like, because I cannot see the lipstick. I missed color at that moment, and I just imagined how it was. And I.
Poster has color, I think.
Sorry?
The poster for this movie
Yeah.
is the mirror scene, and the lipstick is red, I think.
Oh, I should see this poster because I haven't seen this one. I have I have seen drawn one, hand drawing or cartoonization of it. I think when she comes with the pay and she sees her in the mirror, she has a micro change. And when she goes and she enters in the first house and talks with the woman, the lady, and she sits on that couch, she has a micro change there. And then when she's in the car, she has a micro. I think there's some moments where she doesn't change, but she just gets a little bit of confidence, and just, a little bit. Yeah. And what really struck me as a woman working myself is that she's very humble. Like, how I would have argued, shouted, and said what nonsense, like, for the resignation. But she handles it so wisely, and even tells me, doesn't you don't even need to shout. So she handles her things so nicely that maybe my I was alerted so much. Yeah, she handled it so smoothly. It surprises me. It's a lesson for me as well. In that. What else about her? I think lipstick, sunglasses, even the sari, how she walks. I think it's different. She carries her differently. And I think she doesn't abuse of everything as well. She is very, very much contained. For the moment, she is, she's doing it for the best of her household. She only puts lipstick, just for her job. She doesn't say, "Oh, I need." Sometimes you people don't get the job, but for example, sons, they will, or even kids in general, they will say, "Oh, for work, for learning this, I need this material. When you will give me all this material, then I will dare to sit and study." So many prerequisite to do, what you need to do. And she has like no prerequisite for her job. It's hard enough for her already to go and work, and she is not asking for anything, just connection with her husband, to give her confidence. Otherwise she doesn't ask, "Oh, it's far away, I cannot work." She doesn't complain. She works and she overperforms. This is amazing. And how I think Pinto also is in the film. I really hated how Pinto reacted, because he's adding one more constraint to her mother. He understands that her father goes to work. Why can't he understand that mother also goes to work? Okay, there's nature, there's something, but I also think that all the society has also conditioned children to be more exigent towards mothers. And yeah, I felt like even if he was so small, he was a representation of the patriarchy as well. He throwing a tantrum was also patriarchy. He's so little, but he has more power. Yeah.
What didn't you like
About Pinto or about the movie?
about the movie?
I think I liked everything. I think the techniques, because I think I looked at the techniques, I looked at the lighting, I looked at how their house is built, the beginning where the train thing slot is going from one to another, how the sound is captured, how how do you say, the dressing of even Mr. Mukherjee and Subrata also, because he is dressing traditional as well. So I liked everything. The story, the of the master, the father-in-law with his is also interesting. The role of mother-in-law is also interesting. Yeah, I think everything is interesting. Now maybe see all the body of his work, see how engaged he was, and did he has like any influence, any politician, I don't know, like in the bigger picture where he sets, he is maybe this is the context I'm missing. But overall it was a good movie, and really want to see other movies from his work.
I think if you want to see similar movies like this, because he has made several movies about women, and even movies that don't have women as main character, the sole protagonist. Even those movies have complex women characters. The modern woman movies like Days and Nights in the Forest, which is a traveling to the hills kind of movie. Even that has such complex. Even the women movie, in that movie, which is supposed to be a casual entertainer, has great lines by women, has great depth, uh, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And some movies uh, is another movie that I would like to discuss with you is Charulata. That movie has, I think, my favorite score by Satyajit Ray and one of my favorite shots by Satyajit Ray. And it's so beautiful and it's so meaningful. It's an adaptation of Rabindranath Tagore's short story Ujda Ashiana,
Okay.
and I think I read the story long ago, uh, and the movie does such uh, good work representing that movie and adds it. And Satyajit Ray adds his own identity to it, adds his own flavor to it.
Mm-hmm.
There are many movies that I love. Uh, some movies I like, but I don't love. But all of his movies are phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
You have to watch them. You have to watch his body of work.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think another one of his movies his first Hindi movie is Shatranj Ke Khiladi,
Mm-hmm.
and it's another adaptation. It's an adaptation of Shatranj Ke Khiladi short story by I think it's by Premchand,
Mm-hmm.
and it's about uh, the invasion of British. It's about that set in that period,
Mm-hmm.
but it parallels between it switches between two landlords playing chess and the larger game of chess that is the British taking over India.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting.
Mm.
So I think we would enjoy watching his body of work.
I will. I will. It's on my list, little by little. So, thank you so much for introducing me to Satyajit Ray, and I hope you enjoyed the Hidden Figures. Thank you for this interesting talk. I think we talked for hours and hours long on these movies. I didn't knew that we would say so much, but it was all interesting. Maybe we will share your own work in a different setting because I think it can also take. We cannot do justice in some minutes here.
We
And
can do a session sharing both of our works.
yeah, we can do that. And also, I think we will be doing this regularly, so people who want to join can join the present discussion in presential if you want to, or even just watching it afterwards, commenting and giving your also opinion, because we are just discussing. Our word is not the final word; it's what we think of it, and it is just a discussion. And I hope will be more next time. Thank you so much, Jamshed.
Thank you.